there, let's talk about the front post treble crochet. So you make the front post treble crochet the same way you would make any other treble crochet, by which I mean yarn over twice. The part that's different is instead of putting your hook inside the stitch, you're putting it around the throat of the designated stitch. So not here, but here. Yarn over, instead of pulling through a stitch, we're pulling around the throat of that stitch. We have 4 loops on our hook, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, draw through 2, 3 times. So there's my treble. Now, traditionally when you do front post stitches, the stitches in between the posts are 1 stitch shorter than the post stitch. So in this case, I'm doing front post trebles, so my stitches in between are double crochets. This is not a very specific pattern. This is just something that I'm working on to show you guys what I'm talking about. So again, we're going to yarn over twice. We're not going to put a stitch in the stitch. We're putting a stitch around the throat of the designated stitch. Yarn over and draw it through. Yarn over and draw it through 2 loops. Oop, I got tangled there. 3 times. Now I've seen some pattern writing that is mistaken. It'll say skip a stitch. You're not skipping this stitch. You're not working in the top of the stitch, but it's also not skipped. It's not skipped because we worked around the post. So yes, the top of that stitch is naked if I'm doing a pattern where I have a stitch and then a post stitch and then a traditional and then a post stitch, but I'm not skipping it. And anybody that's telling you to skip it is not a very good pattern writer. So once again, there was my front post treble. I'm not going to work in the top of that stitch because I worked around the post. And my double. One more time, my front post treble, yarn over twice, around the throat of the stitch, so you're going down and up. Now if you had a bunch of front post trebles in a row, yarn over and draw it through, yarn over, draw through 2, 3 times. The next time, if they were right next to each other, the next time I went down and up, I'd be going down where I came up before. So this stitch I came up here. If this stitch was also a post stitch, I'd be going down where I came up and working around the throat. All right, so I hope this helps you figure out your front post treble crochets.
How to do a treble crochet, also known as a triple crochet stitch. Yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook into the next indicated stitch under both the front and the back loop, and then yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. You have 3 loops remaining. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and you have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over, pull through the final 2 loops. That's 1 treble crochet. Again, yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook into the next indicated stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2, and that is how you do a treble crochet.
A lot of people have been asking me how I make the moss for my coat, so I thought I'd just make a video. I just make a bunch of small patches and sew them together. As you can see, I use a lot of different yarns and stitches. I like fluffy yarns. Chenille yarns are also really nice. Basically, I'm just hoarding anything that looks mossy. Spirals are nice. Bubble stitches. I like back post spirals. They really kind of look like tree stumps. I alternate textures. I like making the ridges with front and back post stitches, experimenting with stitch length. And a thing that I also like to do is to sew in the ends in a visible way, especially if you have the fluffy yarn. It looks really cool and organic. It's literally just playing around with yarn. So just get started and you too will be able to unleash your inner moss goblin.
Try to make this as quick as possible. I'm going to go ahead and use a weight for acrylic yarn and also a 5mm hook. Slip knot really quickly here. From here, we're just going ahead and going to chain 12. Now, once we have our chain 12, we're going to go ahead and single crochet and second chain from the hook. Then we're going to go ahead and half double crochet into the next, chain 1. Then we're going to go into that same half double crochet here. Finish it off with a single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet into the 3rd and 4th stitch. So when we've made our 2 single crochets, we're going ahead and going to chain 4. Once we've chained our 4, we're going to leave a little bit of space, take our hook off, go into this little mountain that you created here, and then taking this, tightening, pulling it through and chaining 1. And this is going to resemble our first leaf here. We're going to go ahead and 2 half double crochets and 3 single crochets in this chain 4 space. We're going to skip 1, chain into the next, and now we are going to go ahead and chaining 5. Again, take our hook off. We're going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4. Putting our hook through, pulling through with our chain 5, chaining 1. Then for this loop here, we're going to do half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, and 3 single crochets. There's a little bit of a pattern here. We chained 4, we chained 5, now we're going to go ahead and chain 6. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th. I kind of just eyeball that part. From here, I'm going to chain 1. From here, I'm going to do 5 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, and 3 single crochets. Okay, and for this last one, we're going to skip 1, go into the next. I'm going to chain 6 again. From there, take our hook off. 1, 2, 3, 4 into the 5th. Pull through, chain 2. I'm going to double crochet 5 again. 1 half double crochet, and 3 single crochets. From here, I'm just going to single crochet into this, last stitch. And I chain 1, and I turn my work, and I am going to go ahead and single crochet all the way down. We can process on the other side and meet you guys back at that point. Okay, and here is the finished leaf. But yeah, let me know how you guys like it.
I am making a giant puke, and it is coming along. It's getting there. Like, he's got a face now. Still needs a bunch of stuff to be like finished, like wings, for example. But also, it needs about a bajillion feathers. Feathers everywhere. So I have 4 of these. Okay, there's a 4th one somewhere. I have 4 of these made. And I think this is quickly going to become the most time-consuming step of this entire project.
First things first, I'm incredibly annoying, chopping problems, that's my pride. I just don't respond to yelling, maybe sit your ass in time, and I'll hear you down the line. Guess I'm the issue here, and that's absolutely fine. No illusion where we at, I'm the Lord, you just God. I feel like 2020 was about the victory now.
This is how to crochet the crocodile stitch or dragon scale stitch in a triangular shape. For this, I'm going to start with 9 chains and then add a double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. I did speed this up to double time just because I didn't want this video to be super long. But here I'm going to chain 2, skip 2 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then add 2 double crochet into that 3rd chain. This is going to give me the base that I need for my scales, so this row is going to be the first part of the first row. Then I'm going to chain 2 again, skip 2, and add 2 double crochet into the first chain. After this double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to rotate my work sideways. This is normal time, and I'm going to select that double crochet in the center of my row. and I'm going to work around the body of the double crochet or the post and add 5 double crochet around it. And that'll give me the first half of my first scale. That is also how all the scales are worked for this stitch. Then after the 5th one, I am going to rotate it and work 5 double crochet in the opposite post or double crochet post, and that'll give me the second half of my scale. While you're working on this, if you like these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. It really helps kind of get the word out about crochet. And if you have any questions about this stitch or another stitch, or you would like to request a stitch, you can leave that in the comments of any of my videos. And then after this last double crochet, I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the turning chain. Right here, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, I'm going to pull through the stitch and through the loop on my hook, and that's it for row 1. Part 2 will be in the comments.
Hi, TikTok Maria here. Here's the completed crocodile stitch blanket. I wound up using 14 skeins of yarn. I put a little scallop edge on the bottom of it, kind of mimics the scales. The edging was my 3rd attempt. What I was using before, just didn't like it. Finished product. It's more of a lap blanket. It's not a very good bed blanket. Here is the back side. So comfortable. I sat under this last night after I finished it. The back looks just as nice as the front. You can see the edging nice over here. There it is. Finished crocodile stitch.
Welcome back. This video is to how to do a UK treble crochet. So I've already started off with my slip knot and I chained 15. So where you start with a treble is you have to do your first treble into the 4th chain from the hook. So we never count the one that's on our hook. So this is number 1, 2, 3, and where my other thumb is, it's number 4. So that's the 4th chain from the hook. What you're going to do, similarly to a half treble, is you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into this 4th chain from the hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops. Now in a half treble you yarn over and pull through all 3, but in a treble you yarn over, pull through 2, let your hook come back up, you have 2 loops on your hook, then you yarn over again, pull through, and then here you have quite a nice tall little stitch, and that is your treble. So again, yarn over into the next chain on the hook, pull up a loop, you have 3, yarn over, pull 2 through, let that come back up for air, and then you yarn over, pull through 2. So this one, our turn-in chain, already counts as our first treble. So we've got 1, 2, 3 that we've already made. So again, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up 3. Oh, I've caught a wee thread there. There we go. Pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the next chain along, pull through 2, let it come back up, and then pull through another 2. So as you see, this is how the pattern is looking. Now I'm just going to race on to the end of the row here so you can see how that looks. As I say, I'm going to race on and then I'm literally going no faster than I probably was. But this is one of your fundamental stitches to master in crochet. Nearly everything will have a treble crochet as your pattern. And in the US, this is just your double. I don't actually know why UK and US have different terms, but this is our treble, this is your double. Now, let's see, we need to pop 1 into here. And that's us at the end of row 1. So I'm going to do a part 2 as to how to do row 2, so please join me then.
The next one we're going to do is a pretty basic granny square. Start with a magic ring and chain 3. We're going to be working this square with treble crochets. To treble crochet, yarn over twice, then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The chain 3 counts as your first treble crochet, and we're doing clusters of 4. So after your 4 treble crochets, chain 3, and then put 4 more treble crochets into the circle. Then repeat the chain 3, 4 treble crochet pattern until you have 4 clusters of 4 treble crochets. Tighten your ring and do your last chain 3, then slip stitch it to your original chain 3 that counted as your first treble crochet. For the next round, start with a slip knot and go into one of those corner spaces we created and chain 3. Make sure you're working over your tail to work it into your project. Again, this chain 3 counts as your first treble crochet. Then put 3 more treble crochets to create our first cluster of 4. Then chain 3 and put 4 more treble crochets into that same corner space that we're working into now. This is how we'll create our corners moving forward. Now without chaining in between, put another cluster of 4 treble crochet into the next corner space and repeat what we did to create that corner. Slip stitch to your first chain 3. For the next round, start it the same way in the corners, and then for the middle spaces, we are just putting 4 treble crochets in there without chaining before or after that cluster. Repeat this all the way around and repeat it again for the next round and the round after that. Like I said, this is a very basic form of granny square. Usually it would be done with a weight 4 yarn and clusters of 3 double crochets, but I'm using a weight 1 yarn for my dress, so I just adjusted it to fit my project.